Hello. I go through this every week. Welcome to Five Time with Jerry. I don't know if it's the short version or the long version. So let me fix this stuff real quick because for some reason, every single time I put this to public, it doesn't go public. It stays on private, and I don't know why. So irritating. So I want to welcome everybody to Vibe Time with Jerry on StreamYard and those who are tuning in also. Thank you very much. Tonight, my special guest is David Spinks or Dave Spinks. So I am waiting for him to come on the show. So anyway, let me make a couple of announcements. Let's see. Hello. Let me make a couple of announcements. I can't even talk tonight. This is terrible. Yeah, I know, right? So David Flowers and we're going to be doing tours at the Manor House here soon. We're teaming up, doing tours. That's going to be his tours right now are Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 9 p.m. at the Manor House. And you just have to, hi, John Stevens. You just have to call the activities desk. Tickets are $15. John Stevens is on. He is the creator of Virginia Paranormal Events, which you can also find that on Facebook. So, you can find that on Facebook as well. And all you got to do is just go to his page, like it, and you'll see all the latest paranormal events that are going on. Tag team, and you're funny. Also, New Jersey Rope. That is a team based out of New Jersey. They have a hygiene. They have a Facebook page, New Jersey Rope, but they also have a website, and it's www.njrope.com. And if you scroll all the way down, they actually have their own store there. So please go check them out. And if you haven't liked their page, please go and like their page. Let's see. Let me find out where David Spinks is, because maybe he didn't get the link. So let me check. Let's see. Let me see here. From what I can see with David Spinks, I keep saying David, it's Dave Spinks. Yes, it's New Jersey Rope. New Jersey Rope. NJ Rope. I met them back in 2014 when I was at a friend's house, and she was having some issues going on with her house, and she had reached out to their team, and they drove from New Jersey to Virginia to do some stuff with her house. They were setting up an overnight investigation at her house. So that's how I ended up meeting them, and then ended up becoming a member of their team, and we just clicked. So I've been a member of their team ever since, and they're just a really good, organized team. They're like my home team. Yeah, New Jersey Rope. Frank Lazaro. I'll have him on my show eventually. He's just very busy. So I'll have Frank Lazaro on my show here soon. So anyway, Dave Spinks, I'll just talk about him right now until I can figure out what happened here, because I emailed a link. But anyway, Dave Spinks, he's a paranormal investigator, and he is an author also. And I did not realize that he wrote several books, Cooking with the Cryptids, Wicked 46, all kinds of Willows Weeps. That's the name of his store that he has. But he's got all kinds of books out here, West Virginia Bigfoot. And I mean, I'm myself personally, I am like working on a book, okay? And I'm struggling. Like I'm only 10 pages in to my book and it's scattered all over the place. So I don't know how people just do that. I mean, I know Vanessa Hogue always says write from the heart, and I am writing from the heart, but it's just like I don't know. I just, that's hard. Not hard to write from the heart, but when you're putting it on paper and I guess maybe because I go over it and over and over and over it, and I'm looking, I'm like, you know, what the heck? So, hi, Desiree. I am a Bigfoot believer. I believe that Bigfoot exists, and I believe that a lot of people out there, yeah, you better stop, Kimberly, Ashbury, Moxley. But I believe that there's a lot of things out there that we don't know about that exist and we haven't seen them yet. You know what I mean? Like Ray Rose, for instance, he lives in town and he's constantly filming stuff that's happening in the night skies in Urbana. And he's, putting it on Facebook. And when he first put it out there, I was like, maybe those are orbs or something, and I said, well, why didn't you just walk towards the light? And he was like, because it was too far up in the sky, but the way he videoed it, it was so close. I thought it was in front of his face and it wasn't. So anyway, all right, I'm not seeing Dave Spinks. I know I sent him the email. Let me see. Because we were talking. Let me see how I can go in here, to check everything. Maybe. I could have sworn I sent him the email link. Yeah, I know Vibe Time did send it. So I don't know what has happened here. Let's go in there and see if I can resend everything and maybe he'll see it on here. So in the meantime, Kimberly, are you talking about Bigfoot? Are you talking about like UFOs, or are you talking about Bigfoot in general? Because I haven't seen anything like that either, to be quite frank with you. All right, let's see. Real supernatural. All right, let me put his little email in here and send this sucker. Because when I went to go, oh, I don't think I can. So I don't think he can come on. But I know I sent it. That's just weird. I hate when things like this happen because I know that when when I sent my email out that it showed that it sent out because I did it right away so that he would have it. But I'm not seeing it. I don't know. I don't even think I can send it out at this point. So let's see if he'll respond. If not, then we'll just. I know, David Flowers, you said that you saw Bigfoot. I know you did. When you was a kid, you talked about that in one of our episodes, which is really cool. Hi, John Savage. How are you? I know my sister's listening on the line, and I don't know what happened. I know that when I got on Blog Talk Radio last week, when I was setting up everything, I know that link sent out, and I don't know of a way to I don't know of a way on here to like send the link, unless I don't even think Ryan can get on there and do it for me at this point. So, you think it's another species of a bipedal ape? Kimberly says that she thinks it's another. Here we go. He's trying to find my email link, and I can't send it to him. All right, so let's see. Okay. Please don't ask me to resend it because I can't. Oh, he's. Oh, let me see. How do I. Okay. I got to figure out something here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a blonde moment, and this is just not the good time to have a blonde moment. Let me try. I'm trying. Let me see if I can go on here and pull the link from here. I'm Yeah, I'm going to try to send it from my phone right now. I'm glad that y'all are being patient with me. Let's see. Let's see if it'll let me. It might just let me. It may not let me send the invite. So let me see if what's it going to do here today. Let me see. Hello. Bet you it'll echo on here. Hi. Oh, it's saying that I'm on the air. Well, I know that. But I don't know how to. All I can do is copy a link and send it there, but the only thing he's going to get is the actual link, unless he's going to be nice and call in. Let's see. Let's see. If not, I'll send him the StreamYard link, maybe, and just put him on StreamYard. Yeah, I was hoping that he might call in. We're working on it. Oh shit. Oh. All right, let me send an email. This is so cute. He can't see it. So I'm assuming that with when I went to go send the link, he's saying he don't see it. It said it sent it, but he can't see it, and I don't know if it's going to work. So, all right. I don't know. That's a good question. What are y'all's thoughts on that? Kimberly said, or are they slipping in and out of a dimensional rift from a time before ours? That's interesting. That's an interesting discussion. The problem is when you go on Blog Talk Radio, since I'm already on the air itself, it's not allowing me to it's not allowing me to it would let you send an invite link when you're on here, and now it's not allowing me to do that. Like it won't allow me to it's not allowing me to go in here. Normally there's like a little box where it says send invite link. And so you when you go on there, you have to I can't. You can't do it like that. I can't show you the switchboard. It doesn't allow you. There's like a little box at the top before you even start your episode, and it'll say, invite guests through email or whatever. So when you do it that way, unless I try to edit the episode, but I don't think it's going to let me edit anything either. So let's see, because it's saying that seriously, we can't find your page. So let me see if I can try it this way. I'm working on it. All right, let me see if I can edit. Edit. Here it is. Let me see. Title replace. Nope, it's not going to let me. There's a short link. It's not going to let me send him the link. Oh, no. Damn it. He's gonna be nice and call in. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for y'all being so patient. We're gonna get it straight. We're giving this a try. So Royal is not coming on my show because last time she interrupted my internet. Nope. So Royal, I'm unique is not coming on. No. Nope. She's not coming on because if you remember correctly, Miss Kimberly, last time she came on the show, she interrupted all the internet lines and just like totally wrecked everything. So no, she is not on here. Yeah, that's true. Tina said there could be underground caves that they're hiding under. Let me see. Hello?
Hey.
I'm sorry. I know that I emailed the link, but I'm glad you're on.
Yeah, I'm there. They was trying to make me do a pay account.
Oh my God, no, don't do that. No, I actually did my introduction on you, and we were talking about all your books because I did not realize that you wrote so many books.
Oh yeah, I got more coming out too.
Oh my gosh, how do you okay, I'm trying to write one book and I'm struggling with that. So how long does it take you to write a book if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I've been doing this for over 30 years, so basically, a lot of my book work comes out of my case files and investigations and experiences I've done. So, that's basically how I do it. So, and then, a lot of the stuff I write in my books is based off interviews of eyewitnesses and other people's accounts, as well as my own experiences. So that's how I do my books.
That is so cool because I did not. I went on Amazon. I wanted to get a little bit more information about you, and I just was amazed at all the books. I was like, oh my gosh! And here I am struggling on the 11th page. I'm up to 11 pages.
Well, after you do your first one, it gets a little bit easier because you kind of feel your way through it and kind of get your process down, and I have a whole haunted West Virginia series and a real haunted series that I'm doing on numerous states based off investigations I've done over the years. So, not to mention the Bigfoot and UFO stuff, that's all as well. But it's just comes from a lot of information from a lot of years,
Oh yeah. So you I know you have your store in West Virginia, and we had started on the subject about Bigfoot in the chat. So that's what we were talking about while we were trying to also, when we were waiting for you to come on, we were talking about your books, but we was also talking about Bigfoot. And so have you had experiences with seeing Bigfoot, or?
Yeah, that's what started me in all this in reality. I mean, when I was 13 years old, me and my grandfather here in West Virginia, we were on a fishing trip that, one of our trips we used to do quite often, and we had a Bigfoot encounter, and it changed my life. It's literally why I do what I do today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I wrote about it in a real West Virginia Bigfoot book. It's available on Amazon too. It tells my story. I also told that story on a couple of TV shows. These woods are haunted and Terror in the Woods. But I talk about that, how they added some stuff that didn't happen. That got this TV for you. I always tell folks, hey, I didn't know they were going to do that, and it really made me mad. But I tell folks, if you want the real complete story, read my book. And that was my first real TV spot. So I didn't know that they would do something like that. It was very just disappointing that they would do that. But they did a good job overall telling the story. They changed some order of the things that happened around, and then they added some stuff that did not happen, and it really frustrated me. But what are you going to do? Once you sign that paperwork, they can do whatever they want.
Right.
All in the fine print.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. The first time I saw.
I've always been open and honest about that whole situation.
Right.
And, I talk about it at conferences. I'll show the 27-minute segment, and then I'll say, "Remember that part? Remember this part?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah." It never happened. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "That's what they do, And I said, "But read the book. You'll hear the whole story. I mean, we didn't stay the night like they portrayed. We got out of Dodge."
Right.
Right. So, but when you have an encounter like that, when you literally see something that you can't explain, you've never been taught about or heard about. When I was 13, I'd never heard of anything like that. The old timers around here, they would call them wood boogers, but we thought they were always screwing with us, trying to scare us. So they better not stay out in the woods at night because the wood boogers will get you. Well, turns out the things were real and they were in it. So. Yeah, I mean, it really, it changed my whole life. It terrified me, but at the same time, I wanted to know what it was. And then, you kind of, even as a kid, you kind of question your sanity, a little bit, because when you see something like that, you're just like, man, that was unreal. And then, my grandfather, who was a Baptist minister for 40 plus years after World War II, he saw it with me, and he wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Said it was that's not of God, that's a demon, and we don't talk about those things because it brings it closer to you. So
right.
It was very frustrating on that as well.
Right. And how old were you when you had that experience?
13.
Oh gosh, yeah, that would be. I think that would scare me to see something like that. I mean, were y'all just? Do you mind explaining a little bit about what y'all were doing? Were you just walking through the woods, or?
No, we went to a place that we used to go to all the time. We hunt or camp and fish there.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty rugged. It's kind of remote. Not too many people around. There is people on occasion, but it's a pretty rugged area. And one of our normal fishing trips, and we were going to camp out for the whole weekend, like we always did. And we got there, and I started. I wanted to start fishing right away, and I did. He went ahead and let me start fishing. I started catching fish right off the bat, and then we were getting our camp set up after that. And Grandpa was getting firewood and stuff. Grandpa was cleaning our fish, and we cooked them up and ate them. And right, but it was getting simple, pretty close to dark, probably 30, 40 minutes before dark. But in that deep canyon where we were, when the sun goes down behind the mountain, it gets dark quicker because, it's deep down in the river valley. So we were just sitting there after we got everything set up, had a fire going, and we're just chilling and waiting, just talking and everything. And then out of nowhere, a giant splash hit the river. And like a big splash. We didn't see what caused it. And it was so big that the water rained down from it. So when a full-grown man something like that, you know.
Yeah.
They go kaboom and the water rains down, right?
Right.
So we jumped up. We didn't see anything that could have caused it floating in the river, or like a big tree fell in or nothing. Of course, we would have saw that, heard that. We didn't see anything. We just heard just a kaploosh, ginormous splash, right? So we jumped up. We're looking around. We can't figure it for several minutes. We're trying to figure out what in the heck caused that splash. We knew it couldn't have been a fish, because I mean, it would have had to been a monster fish, you know.
Right.
And we would have saw that too. So because it was kind of off to our left a little bit, sort of behind us a little bit. So the other side of the canyon was really steep and rocky over there, and you know, pretty rugged. So Grandpa theorized that maybe a rock rolled off of the cliff and hit out in the water, and we just didn't see it. And I was like, well, we would have heard that, because it would have been come crashing down through there, knocking trees over and stuff. But, you know, what are you going to do? You just try to make sense of it all, and you can't. So after a few minutes of that, we sat back down, just kind of scratching our heads going, that was weird, you know. We were talking about it. Then we hear something like clipping through the tree limbs. And it's over off to the same direction. And I look over there and I see this big boulder, like a man would have a hard time getting both arms around it. You know, that's how big it was. Come flying in an upwards direction through the tree limbs and hit out in the water and make a ginormous splash, just like we heard. So now we knew what it was, but now we're going, what in the frick? How did that happen? It didn't roll down the mountain. It came flying in an upwards direction. Well, we're just kind of standing there dumbfounded. And my grandpa, I guess in his mind, he was thinking it was people messing with us. And he yells across there, "You hoodlums, knock it off, or I'm gonna shoot over there." You know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, there's no way in heck a human could have thrown a rock that big. So just as the time he gets done saying that, you hear the most god awful guttural howl sound come from that side of the river, and it still sends chills up and down my spine when I recall it in my brain how it felt. It was so powerful. It's like when you're at a concert and you feel that bass hitting your gut.
Yep.
And it just echoed up and down the canyon area there where the river is. Well, I looked, and I'm just standing there like frozen, just frozen and scared to death. And I go to look for my grandpa, who was off to my right, and he's gone. And I look back, and he's running toward the tent. Well, I know he's going to get the shotgun out of the tent now. So I didn't know what to do. I'm just standing there, a dumb kid, And so he comes back, and he cracks off a shot over there, and that thing just goes ballistic. We still can't see what it is that made the sound. It starts shaking 40, 50, and 60-foot trees like they're twigs. And he cracks off, I don't know, it could have been 5 to 10 rounds. I don't even know. Because he yells, when all this was going on, he yells for me. He goes, "Get to the truck, boy." So I run to the truck, and I'm cowering down, looking around the front bumper. And he probably cracked off 4 or 5 shots. And this is an old squirrel gun, so it takes, it's not like you can just go boom, boom, boom. You have to shoot one round, unload it, put another round in it, slap it closed, and shoot again. So it takes a few seconds to do each one. So he's like, boom, click, 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 boom,
Right.
And you don't see what's making this noise or anything yet either. All we can see is these trees and stuff shaking and this god-awful screaming and howling coming from over there. So I'm scared to death. I'm shaking. I don't know what's going on. And after he cracks off 4 or 5 rounds, you see the trees that were shaking. Well, it starts moving because the trees are moving as it moves, because it's tearing down the woods over there, And that's when it came into a clearing area, and I saw it from the waist up. There was a giant hominid creature walking on 2 legs covered in brownish black hair.
Oh, God.
And it never looked back at us, but it was tearing the woods down. And that's when my grandpa came running, because he must have saw it too. And he grabbed me up with one arm and opened the driver's side truck and threw me through the cab. And the only thing that stopped me was the passenger side door. And he jumped in and he said, "I'll never forget this." He said, "That's not of God, son. We're getting out of here." So he cranks the truck up, and, this is a rugged road, 2 or 3 miles down in the woods from the hard road at least to get down in there. And he's gunning it, and the truck's bottoming out. It sounds like pieces of the truck are falling off. And I got my head buried in my hands, scared to death, thinking that this truck break, that thing's going to go over here and kill us. Just get us out of here, you know. And so we get to the top, back to the hard road finally, and he drives around, and he's not saying nothing for like 15, 20 minutes. And he finally pulls off the road, and he says, you know, we better not tell no one about this, or they'll think we're crazy.
Yeah.
You know, being a preacher, I can understand where he's coming from, because he doesn't want to lose his parishioners and stuff, you know. So we kept that quiet for many years, and after he died and doing what I do, I always got that question, you know, what started you in this and everything, and I would always tell him another encounter I had with my other grandpa, was having to do with my other grandpa, when in reality it was the Bigfoot thing that started me, but I made a promise, and I kept it. So after he died, and I told my uncle, I said, look, I'm going to tell people what happened to me and Papa, and I want you to know what happened, and this and that, and before I go public with it, he said, oh, you're talking about that monkey man you and him saw, like, and I'm in the woods, and I'm like, what? He told you? And he said, oh, yeah, he told me that story like 25 years ago. So I was pissed, because I kept it, you know, I kept it quiet. But he said, well, he said, he came to me like 25 years ago, and he said, he's telling my uncle, he's like, I want to tell you this, because if something happens to me, I want someone else to know what me and Dave saw in the woods that day.
Oh,
so,
wow.
But he told him not to tell nobody either, you know.
Yeah.
Just wanted someone else to know.
Yeah, that's
so
cool.
Here it was. I kept it quiet, you know. But yeah, you know, and I wrote that story in my book, and along with my story, and there's numerous other accounts of eyewitness accounts here in West Virginia from state troopers, doctors, lawyers, you name it. I mean, all people from all walks of life, credible people that literally have no reason to share a story like that unless they truly saw what they saw. So that's basically how I do my books and stuff like that. So it's all based off of my experiences and then the interviews or cases I've worked over the years with eyewitness encounters and sightings and different things in places and locations and strange happenings that I've investigated.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was I've got viewers on here, and they wanted to know if we were talking about Sasquatch. Yes, we're talking about Bigfoot. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And of course, Kimberly had the question: has he spoken to any locals, like indigenous elders, like the elders that are in your area? Which pretty much,
of course,
yeah. And
there's not many elders around here anymore, but there's a few. I'm actually my mom's great grandma was full blooded Cherokee, so I got a little bit of Cherokee in me, and I do talk to those folks on occasion. You know, they share things with me and whatnot, and I've talked to many other elders from other tribes around the country over the years too. So
yeah. That's really neat. I was gonna. When I first knew of you, it was on an episode, and you got to excuse me because there's a lot of things that when I do investigating, I've done it pretty much all local, so there's a lot of places that I haven't been. But I know I watched a show with Willow's Weep. I guess is that a house, because I know I saw an episode with you in it. This is how much non-caught up I am on TV, but I remember seeing the episode.
Yeah, that was like 2 or 3 years ago now or something. I don't know, but yeah, it was just a short segment on the house that I bought from a woman after I investigated it numerous times, and her and her husband didn't want anything else to do with it because they felt that the house tried to kill them, and I had become friends with her, over the years. And she asked me if I wanted to buy it, and I did. And I said, what better of a place could I have to basically have my own paranormal lab? And it was a controlled environment that I could control that everybody and their brother, wasn't going into. I could control that aspect of it and then try to document more paranormal evidence. So that's what I did with it.
So do like people go in there now to investigate or?
No, I shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Very dangerous house. It's very negative, and it's not structurally safe anymore. So I decided to shut it down because I would feel horrible if somebody got an attachment or something like that crazy happened. And because I have had friends and fellow investigators that have had some crazy stuff happen to them in there, and I just don't feel it's safe, and I don't want that on my conscience.
No.
And as being a responsible location owner, I just don't feel it's a wise decision to let people in there anymore. And and then you got people doing stupid stuff in there, trying to conjure stuff, and just all kind of silly stuff you run into as a location owner.
Right.
But the whole plan. The basic thing was I wrote the first book about it, Willow's Weep, and told as much history and experiences from other investigators and the history that we know that's factual. There's a lot of other hearsay history that we can't find anything because the county's records over there are just a mess. And I've had myself in there numerous times, and many other people I've had helping me try to research stuff on the house. It's just a nightmare in their records. But so the whole thing is, as a responsible location owner too, I think that it's pertinent to. There is a doorway open there, a portal. With all kinds of stuff come in, bad and good, and different things. People have done some. There's probably, I can pretty much guarantee that there's been some type of black magic done in that house at one point in time or another. Built in the 1890s. And some of the stuff we found in the house, and Brenda, the prior owner, found in the house, leads us to believe that there was, dark magic practice probably in the 80s there. So who knows what they let in or tried to conjure up in there?
Right.
But it's definitely something was done there. Not to mention there's a huge Native American presence there. When the French and Indian Wars were going on, that was a prime area for all that. There's all kind of Native American, like all the neighbors told me that I talked to, when they're digging their gardens and stuff, everyone's, they find pottery all the time, arrowheads, and there's two rivers that come in there. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of people were killed on both sides of that war. And when they, if you look at the county that it's in, when they finally came to a peace agreement, the chief of the area, how they did it was he stuck his spear in the ground and they said, okay, wherever the spear shadow cast is your area over there and the rest is our area. And that's what they did.
Gotcha.
So it was really bizarre. And the county shaped really funny because of that. So, there's a lot of different circumstances at that particular house. And there's other houses in that town that I've talked to neighbors that have all kinds of activity in them as well. So, but the Willow's Weep house was built really weird. It was built by masons, built by a mason for a mason. There's all kind of Masonic symbology inside the house. It had a hidden ceiling, and when they knocked that ceiling out, trying to look for the stairway that's supposed to be in the house that's in the original plans, they found these strange triangles above each entrance of the house. And at one time, before later in years it was closed up, but it had 4 entrances and exits right in the corners of the cross.
Oh wow!
Above each door was a triangle, and everything funnels right to the center of the cross of the house. And if you read the book, it tells you all this stuff. I mean, we could spend weeks and weeks talking about all the different nuances of this house and all the different tragic deaths that happened inside and other things. And this crazy stuff that happened to investigators and just random people that were over there before it was even being investigated. So it's just one of those crazy locations that all kinds of, it's like an onion, it has many, many different layers, and you got to peel back the layers trying to figure out what's going on. So my whole plan with it is, like, we got a documentary that we filmed part 1 of that'll be coming out first week of April, probably around the 7th or 8th.
Nice.
On Scare Network. And then and then I'll have that on DVD for sale as well. And I can do signed copies for people, at the store and whatnot. But so we got that coming out. But the second book too, there'll be a second book on it, and it's going to be basically what I'm going to do is I'm either going to burn the house and cleanse the land, or knock it down and cleanse the land, because there's too many that bad energy stained that land, and it needs to be taken care of. And everything has a life, and this life of this house is coming to an end, and I want to have it ended before anyone else is hurt or any bad stuff happens to anyone else. So we're going to do some stuff with a Native American shaman and a couple different clergy members and a holistic healer, and we're going to shut it down, because that's really the only right thing to do. You don't want to leave the door open, so to speak, for all kinds of bad stuff to happen. Nobody will ever live in that house again. So,
right. I understand that, and Kimberly, she's on our chat. I got a lot of people on chat. But one of her comments was her friend lives near there, and she said nobody really goes there because demons are trapped there. That's what I guess her friend told her that lives near there.
They're not trapped there, but they come in and out of there all the time.
Yeah.
And there's been bad things conjured there, and it's just a bad place, and it needs to be cleansed, and the good needs to come back to it. So that's my plan with it. I could have made tons and tons of money. I've had it close since before COVID, and I kid you not, I have over 70 teams begging me to let them in there right now.
Wow.
And I'm just not going to do it. It's not about the money.
Right.
I could be making money hand over fist with that place.
Right.
But I don't. It's not about the money for me.
Right. John Stevens wants to know.
I'm doing the best job I can telling the story of the house, sharing experiences from many other investigators that have been in the house and had crazy stuff, including my own experiences. And we're telling the story, and then the story's going to come to an end, because to let that linger on, and to there are probably some good spirits that need help there too.
Right.
So we need to take care of all of that.
Well, do you think that they they're in that spot, but like if they're surrounding houses, are there complaints from people in like the surrounding areas that are having problems? I mean, is it like spreading itself outward, or is it just like localized to that spot?
Well, there's stuff that comes in and out where that house is, because there was a doorway open somehow, sometime. We don't know when. But there are other houses in that small town that have had paranormal experiences. I've talked to several of the neighbors. So, when there's a place, say a town, and many years before there was even a town there, you had all these battles, and there's also ancient Native American burial sites very near there, with some of the mound builders. So if you had all these sites and there was battles and wars and people killed, that, in my view, this is my opinion, but that bad energy stains the very ground that it happened on, right? So,
right.
So when that kind of stuff happens, that's what we look for when we look for possible causes of paranormal activity or haunting. So in doing so, as with any of these residential houses and stuff, people don't seem to realize that there's two different types of investigations. There's commercial locations where you can go and try to document paranormal evidence. Then there's residentials where people are actually living. Those are two totally different types of investigations. So, people need to understand that, just because you go to like Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum or an old penitentiary, you're not really doing an investigation. You're just documenting paranormal evidence. You're trying to capture something on camera, trying to get some audio, whatever. It's a whole different thing when you're trying to help people that are living in a location and experiencing all kinds of whatever type of activities going on. So, you do some of the same methodologies when you're saying techniques, but you have to try to get down to the nitty gritty and figure out what is actually causing this activity to occur. So it's a lot different, in some aspects.
Right.
So with the weed, it used to be a residential, but now it was commercialized a little bit, and now it's going to be closed because it just doesn't need to have anybody else taking the risk of getting an attachment or worse.
Right.
So,
right. And right. And somebody would be, somebody would be, maybe I'm not saying the right word, but I'll say it's stupid enough to go in there and do something stupid. And because there are some people that aren't very bright sometimes, I think sometimes people think that when you're doing anything paranormal related that it's a joke, and it's not. Or some people, I'm not going to say all, but it's nothing to play around with.
Unfortunately, people watch TV shows and think that's how you investigate. That's just really not the case.
Right.
Really not the case at all.
Right.
Just because you see Joe running around acting like a fool, saying, attack me, demon, or whatever they're doing, provoke you, that doesn't mean you should do that, because you're risking a lot of different things when you do that.
Right. Right. And I've seen people do that. I've been on investigations. I've seen people do stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Well, I'm not going to lie, in my younger days and some of the stuff, I would try different things to try to elicit a response.
Right.
But, there's certain times when you can do stuff like that and certain times you shouldn't. Like, you're not going to go into an orphanage where maybe kids were abused and died, or whatever the case, versus going into a prison where you had some pretty unsavory characters that were just buttholes when they're alive, and if their spirit's still there, the odds are what? They're going to be buttholes in spirit form too.
Right.
And sometimes you have to deal with each location and such in the manner that it occurred when they were actually living. So, and I can speak to that because I was in law enforcement for 20 years. So,
right.
I know how to talk to those guys and how to get respect and give respect back. And each situation's different. It's every place you go, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes you could go, like, I'll give you an example. Bobby Mackey's is a place I've done numerous times over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, notorious, supposed to be demon, this, that, and the other, very negative location. Well, the first time I went there, it was really benign. Nothing really happened. Had a few little weird things happen, nothing major. Went there a second time, and it was just off the chain. There was objects that were thrown across the room.
Oh, wow.
Just a lot of different crazy stuff happened. Went there a third time, and this was over years, different times and whatnot. Third time, it was really active, but not as active as the second time. Fourth time I went, benign again. So you just never know. And different people's energies can affect that too, depending who you're with and on each time. There's so many different factors.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that, big time. Yep.
And I don't know. It's just like I've done, like, for me personally, I've documented enough paranormal evidence in my time. I don't do that as much anymore. I don't need to do that. I don't need validation for myself anymore. I know there's stuff out there, and I know, I've done it for so many years now. I can literally pick up on the energy in any place that I walk into, and I can kind of run with that, And now, for me, it's more of dealing with the energy and the spiritual side of it, and trying to, take care of things in that aspect. If I still try to document stuff, of course, but I don't need to go. I don't go to the commercial locations anymore. I don't need to do that. For me, it's more of going to residentials and businesses that are experiencing stuff and trying to help people.
Right.
And a lot of those cases that I do like that, you guys will never hear about it, never see nothing about it, because that's privacy stuff that I'll never share in public. So, and I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases like that, and seen some of the craziest stuff you can imagine, but I'll never, and filmed it. And, it'll never be released to the public, because I'm not there trying to get attention from it. I'm not there trying to gain fame from it. I'm there to help people, and that's what we do. That's what we're here to do. So,
right.
You could go to either one of my YouTube channels, and there's hundreds and hundreds of videos on there, and you can see some pretty crazy stuff captured,
Yeah.
over the years.
Yeah, I'll probably end up going to your YouTube channel to check things out. Just to see what you got on there.
It's fascinating stuff, all of it. It's all fascinating to me, and to me, it's one of three of man's greatest kind of unanswered questions: Are we alone in the universe, or do unknown creatures walk among us? And what happens when we die? That stuff fascinates me. It's also scary. It can be scary. Mm-hmm. You can pick up an attachment anywhere, folks, anywhere. And when you go out and look for this stuff, guess what? You just up the odds that you will most likely get some sort of attachment if you spend any amount of time in this field trying to document evidence and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that I've had it. I had one. I wrote my first book. I wrote, Wicked 46. That happened to me, and it took me a little bit to realize what was going on. And my whole life went upside down in a overnight, guys. And then once I realized what was going on, I was like, oh my God, I must have this thing. I got an attachment from that place. And I went and got blessed by a shaman, a Catholic priest, which I'm not even Catholic, and a Baptist minister. And within a few weeks, I kid you not, everything turned around.
Yeah.
And that was a very nasty case that we put a team together and did something that no one has ever done in the paranormal before, and that is actually went to a notorious haunted location in PA. It was listed for sale as a haunted house, and upon further research, we realized that the Warrens had been there in the 80s. The local college had a paranormal situation at their college. They had a paranormal school in there, and they were studying this house. The Warrens had been there, and numerous people over the years would move in, move out, some leaving all their belongings. And there were some deaths in the house, a suicide, and some other stuff. So we put this team together, and we lived in it for we rented it from the owner who was trying to sell it, and we lived in it for 30 days straight, and then went back 3 more times for 2 weeks at a time and lived in it, and investigated it 24/7. And a lot of crazy stuff happened, a lot of bad stuff happened. The guy that I was investigating with, he was into some dark stuff, and he was using Ouija boards and stuff, and I was just there as an investigator helping him and trying to document stuff. Well, lo and behold, I got an attachment from that place, and it messed me up. And right after that investigation, I had a freaking softball-sized tumor come into my leg out of nowhere. And all kinds of really bad stuff happened to me.
Yeah, people don't believe that happens, though.
Most of the people... and most of the people that were involved in that case are no longer friends. There's only me and a couple of them are still talk here and there, but they all had bad stuff happen to them as well. The one guy didn't last a week and a half. He was crying, a grown man crying like a little baby. He said, "This place is evil. I'm out of here." He didn't last a week and a half. He was gone. And just a lot of crazy stuff happened. The Constantinos did a live remote EVP session with us there, and look what happened to them not long after that: murder, suicide.
Yeah.
Just a lot of crazy stuff happened to people that were involved in that thing, and I wrote that book I did that one like almost like a daily journal with all I experienced, what I saw, and how it affected me and what happened to me, and wrote it as a warning to other investigators. Be careful what you ask for. You might just get it.
You're right. You're right about that. I want to spend some time talking about your store because we've lost a little bit of time. So I've got about 5 minutes left. Can we talk about your store that you have opened up? Because I see things that I want in there already, but you are like I think you're 5.5 hours away from me.
Yeah. Well, we're working on ideas for an online store from the store, but of course we won't be able to offer all of our products. We're just going to offer some of the products. But this started like 7, 8, 9 years ago for me. I thought it would be really cool to have, because basically when I get paid to go speak around the country at conferences and stuff, I have my table and I have a lot of different products, my books and other things like that. And I thought it would be really cool to have my own store, and just go on a grander scale. Not to mention that where I put the store is right on the edge of the Monongahela National Forest. I can run Bigfoot hunts right out of the store. I'm going to be doing ghost land, the old timey ghost walks with the tours with the lanterns and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Right in the town there, and we're going to do UFO sky watching right out of the store too. So you'll be able to, if you go to our Facebook page, Dave Spinks World of Weird on Facebook, go to the events, pay attention. We've already had one event. We're doing another one on May 7th. There's all kind of stuff coming to the store. So my girlfriend and I, she helped me make this dream come to fruition for me. And she's a holistic healer and a Reiki master and so much more. She has so many titles, I couldn't name them all. But she was a college professor and she's died 5 times. And her story is why she does what she does because of what happened to her. Right. And she had a lot of things happen to her. Now she's all into the holistic and spiritual side for many years now. And so she helps a lot of people, and we investigate together, and we're helping people get through situations that have attachments and everything else. But so we have a dual store. It's really cool. So on one side, she has her holistic practice with Reiki and the mats and the electromagnetic tables and all the cool stuff, the crystals and the blessed oils and everything. Then on my side, we got all my stuff, and it goes hand in hand. Mm-hmm. So we have, if you're investigating and you run out of sage, guess what? You can pop if you're near. You can pop in the store, get some sage, or you can get some blessed oils or some holy water or blessed metals, whatever you need. We have paranormal equipment. We've got T-shirts. Everything paranormal under the sun. We've got my books, her books. We've got many other authors like Johnny Z's. Is a good friend of mine. His books are in the store. Stan Gordon, Frank Bennett, Lyle Blackburn, Ken Gerhardt. Everybody of my friends that a lot of them that are authors, I have all their books in my store too. And we have all kind of really cool merch. That's a lot of it's handmade by people that artisans and artists, drawings and paintings and sculpts and everything else in the store that are made just for the store.
Oh, that's cool.
We also have authentic Native American items that are made by shamans for us for the store. I mean, drums, rattles, necklaces, bracelets, all handmade by natives.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to you doing your online store because I've seen a couple things that I want, particularly because I collect alien stuff. I told you that.
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch of alien stuff. I actually have, it's kind of becoming an attraction, too, because I have the actual copy of the Area 51 sign that was in the movie Paul is in my store. That's a real movie prop from the movie. We've got a Zoltar in there now. I've got a life-size 8.5-foot tall Sasquatch that was made by a guy for me that's just unbelievable. And you can see pictures of it if you go on the Facebook page. And that's cool. we got a whole bunch of, hodgepodge of everything. Aliens, ghosts, monsters, the whole 9 yards. We've got movies, we've got documentaries that I'm in and other people that I know are in. And just, signage and trinkets. And we got a whole kids section with kids and Bigfoot toys and activity books and just a whole bunch of stuff. Soap. We got Bigfoot soap.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
And even we got even more stuff coming. We got spices, monster-themed spices. We got hot sauces. Hot sauces from Lyle Blackburn and other companies that have made monster sauce now. And just so much cool stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm running out of time. I got like 20 seconds. Do you have a Facebook? You have a Facebook page for your store too.
Yeah, Dave Spinks World of Weird.
Okay, got that, y'all? We'll put it in the link. And I'm going to
go to my website. If you go to my website, you can find just about everything. www.davespinksparanormalinvestigator.com.
That works. Well, I'm sorry that our time went short, but I do appreciate you coming on my show.
Hey, my pleasure. Anytime.
I really appreciate that. I'm going to have to, I know I want to have you back because we didn't get to fully talk about everything, but I think it's really cool. And I appreciate you taking time to come out and talk to us tonight.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Well, thank you.
Just let me know.
All righty. I will.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was an excellent episode. So I am going to be taking I'm going to take some photos off of Dave Spinks's store website. And for those of you that aren't that don't know anything about his store, because some of y'all are my friends on here and you haven't really seen his store, but I fell in love with some of the alien stuff, so I already know that I want some of the alien stuff that's in there, particularly the alien bottle. It's like really cool. It's about this big. It's got an alien face on it and it lights up green. I mean, I'm telling y'all, I have a whole collection of little aliens. People think I'm weird, but I do. I have them all in my cup. What wasn't his first? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, y'all can find his books on Amazon. He's got a bunch of them on here. And I had written down, I swear, when it comes to writing down stuff, I had written down where it was at. And now I can't remember the location of the store. And it's terrible. So anyway, I appreciate y'all. Yes, I mean, he's really a nice guy. I wish we had more time to and John, I'm sorry I didn't even get to ask his I didn't even get a chance to ask your question, but it sounds like that maybe it's between both, of talking about the paranormal and, talking about the ghosts and Bigfoot. It seems like that it would be between both. Yeah. So I was trying to go on my calendar to see what I got going on next week. Oh, I know what I got going on next week. Dave Flowers is going to get. Don't get me. All right. So next week on Vibe Time with Jerry, John Savage and David Flowers, we're going to kind of do similar to what we did on Open Mic Night. We are going to do the Paranormal Roundtable. So we're going to get in discussions where, people debate things. They debate things. We all know that happens. So I've actually already got people that are asking questions like haunted dolls, for instance. I know we touched on that subject. I did not forget about David Flowers. I didn't forget David Flowers. No, I didn't. Oh, did I? No, I didn't. Stop, Kim. Anyway, that is one of the things that we are going to be talking about is haunted dolls. We all have them, and people have debates about. I'm not going to consider my doll haunted though. She's creepy. She's a little creepy, but I don't consider her haunted. Now I'm going to tell you, one time I picked her up in one of these what you call those little bugs that have those little creepy fang things. Came crawling out of her. I can't think of the name of the bug right now, but it came crawling out. It was very creepy, y'all, because she had this little thing. What are those little silverfish? Oh my God, that's what it was. Came crawling out the side of her neck. And I was like, are you kidding me? So it had been sitting there for God knows how long. Yes, debunk the dolls. This doll, like I told y'all, I got this one at an antique store. It's in Williamsburg. But I just was drawn to the doll, and I told y'all about it before. I promised the guy that I would keep it in its little potato sack dress because that's all they could afford at the time. So I promised the owner that I would keep it in the potato sack. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, there's a little hole in this doll, but I don't know what that is. That's creepy. I never realized that before. Air. That's weird. I wonder what that is. I can't put her in a new dress because I promised the guy that I bought it from, who happens to know the family that owned the doll, I promised him that I would never ever take her out of the potato dress. I did. I got the jacks for the manor house. So I promised the owner that I would never take her out of the dress. She has a story behind her with these two sisters that played with her all the time, and one of the sisters had passed away. And I will tell you, when I originally got this doll, it did have the energy of the sister on it originally. I remember not being able to sleep, even though I smudged it, I just couldn't sleep. And then I brought it back outside and I smudged it a couple more times. And I told the sister that had passed away that I would take really good care of the doll and that it was in good hands, that I wouldn't just dump it at the cabin on 360 like I planned to do to begin with, because I was really going to take this to the cabin on 360, but I made a promise. So, yeah. No, David Flowers, we're talking about the museum, the Scottish Factor House. We have toys and stuff there for kids. And the jacks are this particular jack set is like a replica of 1700s, because I was looking for toys that are in the 1700s as a trigger object. So that's what that's about. But we'll be playing jacks on the floor. I got the little jacks in my bag as we speak, along with the what's it called? Drawing a blank. I get my hair done this coming up Monday. It's not blonde yet, but it will be. It'll be like platinum blonde when she's done. So I'm drawing all these blanks, and you would think I would not have that with the adjustment in my neck I just got. You would think that I wouldn't be stumbling for words. Um, Thumb drive. I have that too. So yeah, we'll be sitting there playing jacks. But if I remember correctly, the last time I was in, when it was myself, John Savage, his wife Anita, and we did this investigation on the floor, on the floor. Yeah, David Flowers, you are. I guarantee you that you might be taller than me, but you are way slimmer than me, and I guarantee you I weigh more than you do. Guarantee it. So you can sit there and say your fat ass ain't getting off of the floor. No, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. When we were upstairs at the manor house and we were doing a private investigation, it was, you know, yeah, John Savage, David Flowers, where you can sit on the bench, then I'll sit on the floor and play jacks. And then you just sit there and document, because we got a logbook going. So we were sitting on the floor and I forgot what app we were running. Was it Necrophonics? I don't even know if it was a spirit box or it was a Necrophonic app where it said get off the floor. I remember that, not on the floor. Remember John Savage, or maybe Anita knows or remembers, but it didn't like you laying on the floor. Whatever was there didn't like that. Didn't like you laying on the floor on the second floor. But I was just all sprout out because I was enjoying watching John Flowers' trip line that he had set up, or John Savage's trip line he had set up on the floor. Yeah, it was John Savage's ghost app. But he had a tripwire that I was watching, and I just was chilling out watching it, and it told me to get off the floor. Didn't like you being on the floor like that, so you can't lay on the floor in the manor house. So if I go in there and I lay on the floor, yeah, right, we'll be playing in the floor with these jacks because I can't get them. They're in my other bag, but they're like I said, they're a replica of jacks from that time period. So, and that was the only, yeah, get off that floor. That was the only replica of the 1700s that the museum had. So I just went ahead and got it. I was like, I'll use this as a trigger object and see what I get. And I know Kimberly pretty soon. She's had a lot going on, so she forgot it. Okay, yeah, okay. It wasn't the Ghost app. It was your EVP recorder. That's right. That's right. Thank you for that correction. You are absolutely right. It was on the recorder. Kimberly was going to make me a 1700 doll. We were going to do a rag doll. Notice I smile because I know she's still on here with me. Rag doll. So anyway, that's what she was supposed to do. But back to what I would probably so. No, the person that said get off the floor was a man. Wasn't it John Savage? Wasn't it a man that said get off the floor or don't be on the floor? Because I was sure chilling out. There is there is a woman on the second floor of the manor house, and there's a child. We've picked up children there. There's a woman there. Um, and she always answers David when he asks the questions of what color dress are you wearing. She'll tell in the EVP recorder or in the spirit box. I'm sorry, I can't talk tonight. This better not happen on my tours that I'm doing with you, or I'm going to be very embarrassed. Okay, John Savage, he'll find it and send it to me. Well, maybe he just didn't want kids being on the floor back then, but I was laying on the floor. I was chilling out. I was enjoying watching the blue light, the blue tripwire light, and it just said, get off the floor. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, we're going to have fun next week at the round table. So yeah, you've been doing it for 12 years. David Flowers has been doing tours out there for 12 years. And I have not seen him stumble on his words yet. And I have practiced the tour, like really practice it over and over and over. I even chill out and just sit there and practice it. But I think the bottom line with that is that I just need to do it. Like I can take my little note cards with me, but I just need to do it instead of sitting over here, constantly trying to practice it. Right. You're right. John Savage said he thinks that it's because in his mind, women should not be laying on the floor like the way we were sitting. It wasn't proper. And that is true. I agree with you on that. Yeah. I don't remember him saying it in a mean kind of way, but I just think it's pretty cool that Spirit could see you laying on the floor and said something. So the wood grain, what wood grain are you wanting to look at upstairs? Because some of that stuff, David, correct me if I'm wrong, the house was burnt with the exception of the outer walls, like the brick of the house is all original, but the inside had to be redone. Do I have that history right? Because my note cards are on my couch. So, but it's a very, very interesting place to be. And it is an active place. Yes. Okay. So I got it right. Yay. I didn't mess that up. They came and it was used as a hospital at one point. See, I'm not going to remember all this Union Confederate, but I will eventually. But it was used as a hospital at one point. So a lot of people were killed that day when they found out that it was a hospital, and then they ended up burning it, right? I don't know. David, is there any original wood? That's when I have to glance down at my note cards. Yeah, the second floor is from the 1980s. The first floor is older than the house. Okay. All right. John Savage said, David, you and him need to set up a time where y'all can just focus on the outside for a while. It's funny you're saying that, John, because I went to the outside where the shed was at, and and I have it documented, but there was a lady and her daughter that was there, and we were asking because I was hoping to pick up the spirit that was out there, the male spirit. Now I can't remember his name. It figures. Toby. Yes, Toby. I was trying to pick him up, and I got children instead. And I have that on the spirit box, and I have it documented and it was so cute the way I said hi, I said hello, and a little girl came on and she said hi. And then I said, "Hello," and she said, "Hi," a second time, and it was just really, really neat to me. I have that, like I said, I have that documented. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm sure back we had I mean, if you need to come out to the, Scottish Factor house, Kimberly, and look at the wood there. All that wood, with the exception of a few pieces that we had to replace as original wood, it's 1700s. The building is 1766, I believe. And all the wood there is original, with the exception of the pieces that we had to pick up, that they had to unfortunately cut out. And then when you go into our creepy basement at the Scottish Factor store, if you go into the basement part, the original dirt floor is there. And what's really nice is that a lot of people come in, like people that work on wood, they will come in and they will look at the beams of the Scottish Factor, and they will, like, I had one guy in that he built the New Kent winery. He built it, but he also owned it at one point, and he came into the museum and he went down below and he was talking about the rafters there, and he was able to show you how, tell you how old the wood was. He was able to tell you where they started the wood, like how they sawed it, where they took a break at. He was like, "Look, you can see where they took a break here." And then they came back to their work. So it was really interesting. He was a tourist that came in, but it was really interesting that there was somebody that knowledgeable about the wood there. So we've had a lot of people from Williamsburg come to the Scottish Factor House in Urbana because they're trying to save the building, since it is the last standing Scottish Factor retail store in the United States. There is one in Williamsburg. The architect said that there was one in Williamsburg, but it's not standing like ours is. It's not. Ours is a full structure where you can still walk into it. So they are working really hard to raise money, to be able to save our treasure, because it's a treasure. And then when you go inside, you're actually going into um, the Mitchell map room on the second floor, where we have a 1755 map that was drawn by Dr. John Mitchell that used to practice medicine in Urbana. And he ended up moving to London, but he got robbed by pirates on the way going to London. So he actually ended up going to England with nothing. Um, and then the Earl of Halifax and him were friends. So he asked him if he could draw him a map. And he was like, "Sure, I can draw a map." So it took him about 5 years. And the map we have hanging in the museum is his very first map drawn, third edition, meaning it's third on the plates because our map is broken up into 8 plates. So that map sat on the back of a bank wall in town for about 2 decades, where you could walk up and touch it. And then they ended up rolling the map up and chucking it into our hurricane room, because we had a hurricane room. We have a hurricane room in town. And there was a lady that knew about maps. So when she pulled it out and unrolled it, she was like, "I think we need to get the map looked at," because the town paid $5,600 for it. Okay. Um, so they sent the map. The town had to put $32,000 worth of insurance on the map. They sent it to these 3 ladies in Richmond. They took a look at it, took a look at the map, and they ended up restoring it. And the map is worth $250,000. So it's Urbana's prized possession. So not only do we have the Scottish Factor retail store there, which is a beautiful piece of property. I love working out there. We also have the Mitchell map that people come from all over the world to see. So yes, please. The town of Urbana is full of history. So when you and Anita come out there, just let me know when y'all are coming out to make sure I'm working. The museum's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11 to 4. But the Scottish Factor retail store is not the only historical building there. We have an original pole and beam house. Right now there's a business owner in there. She sells cheeses and different things like that. But that is the only pole and beam house standing, and it belonged to Ralph Wormley. So that's a 1700s house. We have the marble house, which they actually shipped marble in from schooner boats on schooner boats because they used to run schooner boats on the creek because it's the town of Urbana. It's Urbana, Virginia, Urbana. It is a port town, and it is one of there's a lot of port town. I think there was 21 established port towns, but when people like come from Michigan and different parts of the world, they're actually when they come to Urbana, they've actually mapped out what different port towns that they're going to stop at, and they like Urbana because Urbana, you can come by a sailboat or boat, whatever. We get a lot of people that come off their boats and they will dock at our marina because you can do that for 3 hours. It don't cost you anything. All right. Bye, Kimberly. Thanks for coming on. I want to know about the issues. Sure you'll be messaging me. But people will come from the boats, they'll walk up the hill and they can purchase their goods. They can go to the grocery store. If they got to go to the pharmacy, we have a pharmacy. We have restaurants that you can eat at. So it's the only place really where you don't have to, like, let's use Deltaville for an example. If you've never been there, if you port there, if you put your boat out there, you got to kind of like ride a bike. You know what I mean? You can't just, if you've never been to Deltaville, you can't just park your boat there. It's like a long ways from grocery stores and things like that. But if you come up to the Urbana Marina, you can actually dock your boat there and walk up the hill. You can, like I said, go to the post office if you need to go. We have a liquor store, we have a library, we have 3 or 4 different restaurants, we have a few clothing stores, we have a pharmacy, we have the grocery store. Um, we have just all kinds of stuff just within walking distance. So that's why a lot of people come here. Our town is a tourist town slash port town. We have a women's club that at one point was a courthouse slash jail, um, slash everything. It was mainly a courthouse, and they hung a lot of pirates out at the women's club or the old courthouse. It was a jail and courthouse, and they even have a basement which you can't go into. They don't allow it, but I have seen it, and it's like the original where you have to kind of like go down these little steps. It's all hidden under stuff, but you have to pull stuff back, and when you walk down there, you can see all the original walls where they held prisoners at, and it's not a good feeling down there. It's like really icky. So yeah, you should come out, and when, like I said, when you do come out, let me know so that I know that you're coming and that I'm here, and that goes for you too, Dave Flowers. If you and M want to come out, just let me know. I don't know if M is aware because she does art. We have an art. It's called, it used to be called Art on the Half Shell, and for some reason I constantly call it that, but I know that's not it. I think it's Arts in the Middle. So what they do is they get the property out here. It's right outside of town. I'm drawing a blank. It's the Christopher Robinson House, and they will do arts in the middle. They have a very long driveway. It's like a plantation driveway, and artists come out and they set their art up here once a year. And it's actually coming up really soon. Let me see. But I mean, me and the kids have always enjoyed going to arts in the middle. And then sometimes they'll have, different artists coming out on our town. Yeah, that stay on our town, that go to the women's church. They have some art stuff there. So, and I know Barbara Hartley, she has it's not a whole lot of art, but she has like photography and different things set up there. But so it's a really nice town to live in. Arts in the Middle, I think it's called. Arts in the Yeah, here it is. That should be coming up soon. But it's just a really nice time to visit, and just come out and see it. Yeah, it should be coming up. They're looking for sponsor people now. So that's what they're doing. So, it's a very popular it's beginning to get bigger and bigger as far as where the art's concerned. Plus, I like looking at different people's art. I told y'all I can't draw. I can only draw little stick people, and even when I do that, people laugh at me. So I'll do very well with art. I can do numbers all day long and Reiki and teach you all that all day long, but I can't do any of that. So anyway, next week when y'all tune in, this is how it's going to work. For those that, if you have questions or you want to get involved with the discussion on the paranormal roundtable, you can either do it in the comments section or you can go ahead and call into the switchboard, hit 1, and then I'll take you off of mute so you can ask your questions, or if you want to get into a discussion. I mean, Dave Flowers and John Savage are already going to call into the switchboard, and I think we're going to attempt to do StreamYard as well. So then that way, when the blog talk part of it, I will. I know. I'm so sorry that I put in the wrong number to the Manor House. I did not mean to do that. But I will send you the address. Do you want the museum? Do you want the museum address? Or do you want my address? Whichever one, the museum, I'll get it tomorrow. I don't know it off the top of my head, but yeah. Or I'll Google it and send it to you that way. I know. That was so embarrassing. I can't believe I did that. That was terrible. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So I'll send you the link and I'll send David the link. Okay. I'll get it to the museum because I'm in walking distance of the museum. Like, it's really not that far. And there is some stuff that's out there too. I mean, there is paranormal stuff that happened. I know. Thank you. I love y'all too. Anita's gonna love me when she gets her little package in the mail. I can't wait. I can't wait to get the little pieces of moonstone that she has for me. I'm looking forward to that. I've been waiting. But unfortunately, like I said, when I go to my mom's house, time flies by so much and I'm just not able to, I try, and it's just time gets away from me when I'm there trying to help her out and chill with her. So she did. Oh my God. She got it today. Yay. I hope she likes the scarf. But anyway, next week is going to be really interesting on the round table, I think. And like I said, if you want to ask questions, you can do that. So, hi. Did you get my magic potion? We got, let me tell y'all thank you. That scarf is your color too. I don't think the Sharker one, the one with the different rainbowies. I think I did good getting the blue. Yeah. Thank you. I hope you love this stuff. Just shake it really well. Shake it real good. I put some little stones and everything in there just for you. So I need to know how it works for you. I mean, the little monkey stuff is in there. The white monkey stuff is in there, which I love that stuff. But the oil I made for you is in there with I put little stones and just set the intentions just for you. So yeah, that one, I tried to make it for you where it would, relieve like stress, if you will. So when you put your hands up to it, if you rubbed it in your hands and you could smell it, it would just relax you. Yeah, Dave Flowers, I'm going to tell you something. What? Yes, white monkey stuff. Where is it? Hold on. I got it somewhere. I bet you it's not close though. God dang it. Never fails. Anyway, it is this stuff. It's in this little tiny container. I'll bring you some tomorrow. The little white monkey stuff is really cool because if you got aches and pains, like if you pull a muscle or something like that and you rub that on there, it's better than the other stuff out there. It's better than what's the stuff that people use so much that it smells like Bengay. It's not Bengay, it's something else. Was a little white monkey stuff handmade. No, I don't know who makes that, but I love that stuff. I get it online. Now the bottle, that was you're so funny. That was made by me. that the bottle that I sent her was actually made by me. And then the incense, I figured she would like the cones. But I normally carry it everywhere because, yes, please slap him for me. He's on a roll. The little white monkey one I carry because you never know who's going to get hurt with something, and you can Reiki people, but I mean, I've had people like get hurt, so I kind of carry it with me. Plus, with my accident and the neck pain that I get, I use Lori Bradley stuff. I think I gave the one that I had in my purse away because I'm always giving it away to people. But the one thing, the stuff that Lori Bradley makes with the holistic wellness blends, her stuff is really good too. It takes pain out like that, but so does the monkey that I can't find right now. I must have given my other white monkey away because normally I have those little containers all over the place. But anyway, I'll bring you some. It's really good stuff. If you're older and you get these little aches and pains, it'll take it away. So yes, smack John Savage for me. Are you going to be able to come on next week too? Because that'll be really cool. I think I can have up to 5 people on Vibe Time at the same time. And then I can have as many people as I want on StreamYard. But I have to figure StreamYard out where it's not going to sit off, where it's not going to go off and mess stuff up, where it's not going to echo. That's the biggest problem that I have. That's why, unfortunately, I didn't want to bring Dave Spinks on my StreamYard because I was afraid that everything was going to echo. And I didn't want to do that to him like that. You know what? I am too. What's the date? Oh, I'll be at the Manor House too on Saturday. But as far as the museum, I'm not working there at all except for, oh yeah, I am. Damn. I'm working there Friday and Sunday. Oops. Didn't know. So I'm off Saturday half a day till I go to the Manor House. So then I'll be practicing my tour with David Flowers so I can get this thing pegged. We're talking about, oh my God, let me show you. See, now y'all got me all up in my room looking for my monkey that I can't find. And it would figure, oh, here it is. I had it somewhere along with all my other stuff. This stuff is so good. Right here, look. This. See that? This stuff is awesome. And it's like mentholy. And if you've pulled a muscle or something, you just rub it on there. But see, I also have Holistic Wellness Blends specialty cream, her Peace Out cream, and her, I call it Happy Hippie cream, but it's not called that. It's called Groovy Hippie, and I changed the name because I thought Happy Hippie was nice. So yeah, this stuff is awesome, and it smells good. It don't smell like Bengay and all the other crap. I've got so many of them, but I've given a lot of them away because when I see somebody in pain, I just pull it out of my purse and I'm like, here you go, and they take it. So I have a whole like container. It's better than Tiger Balm though. It's a lot better than Tiger Balm. Yeah. I've got Tiger Balm too, but I don't use it like that. So anyway, Paranormal Roundtables next week. Please join us. If you want to ask questions or just join in on the conversation, we can do that. You just have to press 1 so I know it's you. We're going to try to do it on, not just on Blog Talk Radio, but we're also going to try to do it on StreamYard as well. So then that way, when Blog Talk shuts off in an hour, if we wanted to continue to have a discussion, we can. I think that's what we agreed on, but we're not going to stay up too late because like some people have to get up early and go to work. So I want to respect that time too. So anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. It was an excellent show. Dave Spinks. I keep saying Dave Spinks. I don't know if you're going to watch the ending of it because I'm sure that you're, doing other things. I appreciate you coming on. And y'all don't forget to check out his website and his store, which is totally awesome. And yep, y'all have a good night. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate y'all tuning in. For people that come on here, for people that call in, for people that come on, Charity, Vanessa, Ernest, Kimberly, John, Anita, David Flowers, John Stevens, Amy. I saw my friend Amy on here tonight. I really appreciate y'all coming in and tuning into my show. It's greatly appreciated. Desiree, I don't want to miss anybody. People that call in, thank you for coming in. And, I just appreciate the support. Gene Wells, thanks for tuning in tonight. I appreciate y'all. And y'all have a great night. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Paranormal Round Table. I got the flyer made, and we will be talking about everything. So y'all have a great night. Thank you.